I didn't even see him going up that heavy, and he did that. So, but as of right now, I have to put Terence Crawford.
Fact, did you in your head size up Floyd? Like, you know what I'm saying? If we was ever keep it real, boss,
Never. I'm never that type of guy. I think that's some grimy. Always been happy for him, been a fan of his.
Floyd Mayweather recently linked up with Terence Crawford to train ahead of Crawford's huge fight against Canelo Alvarez. Mayweather didn't hold back, calling Crawford the top pound-for-pound fighter in the game today. Their training sessions were intense and full of mutual respect, with Floyd showing real belief in Crawford's chances to take over in this massive showdown.
Right now, in your opinion, who's the best fighter in the world?
We can't put Tank up there in the top 10 in pound for pound. He has to be somewhere in pound for pound. And Canelo done something that is amazing when Canelo was able to go to light heavyweight and become light heavyweight champion, something that I didn't even see him going up that heavy, and he did that. So, but as of right now, I have to put Terence Crawford as #1.
In a recent conversation, Terence Crawford opened up about his talk with Floyd Mayweather. He said Floyd wasn't just giving compliments, he offered real advice, both technical and motivational. Mayweather acknowledged Crawford's skills, but also kept it real about the tough challenge Canelo Alvarez brings with his experience and age. Still, Floyd urged Crawford to stay focused, stay sharp, and bring his best. Their talk was respectful, helpful, and all about getting ready, not just hyping each other up.
That's a big boy. He's strong. You know, you box good. You can do this. You got this over him. You're gonna have to tighten up this. You're gonna have to do this. You know, it's a conversation. It's not just, oh man, you'll whoop his ass. You'll do this to him. It's never like
yes man type.
You know what I mean? It's like, hey, listen. You know, that's a dangerous fight. You know, but
that's the fight.
If it happened, you know.
The meeting between these two boxing greats didn't go unnoticed. Fans and commentators quickly reacted, and the moment lit up social media. Seeing a rising champion like Crawford side by side with a legend like Mayweather struck a chord. For many, it felt like more than just a training session. It looked like a symbolic passing of the torch or a clear sign of Mayweather's endorsement. The buzz wasn't only about the upcoming fight. It was about legacy, respect, and one champion recognizing another.
Floyd.
Congratulations, man.
Mayweather didn't hold back when he called out Canelo Alvarez over past doping allegations, pointing to what he sees as unfair treatment by the media. He claimed that when it comes to Canelo, issues like performance-enhancing drugs often get brushed aside, creating a clear double standard. Floyd's bold remarks stirred up plenty of debate, with some fans backing his call for fairness and others defending Canelo. The discussion quickly turned into a bigger conversation about accountability and transparency in the sport.
But what we don't talk about is, you know, Canelo. Steroids. They don't talk about that. So we don't know. We really don't know all the fighters he beat. He could have been not clean in a lot of fights.
Reflecting on his fight with Canelo, Mayweather pointed out that he came in much lighter, around 151 or 152 pounds. Even with the size disadvantage, he used his trademark defense and sharp ring IQ to control the fight from start to finish. It was a clear example of how timing and skill can beat power. The performance reminded everyone that Mayweather's undefeated run wasn't built on brute force. It was all about precision, strategy, and pure finesse.
After Canelo made the weight, it wasn't like it was a certain clause to where he couldn't gain weight. So after he weighed 152 or 152 and a half, I think he came in like 168 or close to 170. And actually I came in at probably like I probably came in at 151 and 152.
Gotcha.
But Roy Jones is one hell of a fighter. You know, I can't get on here and hate on his skills and knock his skills. He's been through a lot in the sport of boxing, and he's done a lot for the sport of boxing.
Since the early days of his career, Crawford has looked up to Floyd, not just for his boxing skills, but for how he built his legacy. That respect has grown into a real connection, with Mayweather occasionally offering advice and insight. Crawford takes those moments seriously, using them as fuel to sharpen his craft. and learn from Floyd's strategic mindset. Their relationship is built on shared ambition and deep mutual respect.
But I know how you is. You be sizing niggas up, bro. Keep it a stack. Did you in your head size up Floyd? Like, you know what I'm saying? If we was ever keep it real, boy, keep it real.
I'm never that type of guy. I think that's some grimy shit. Always been happy for him, been a fan of his, and I never imagined us fight.
Yeah.
I never looked at him like, man, I know I'll be this.
Well, you capping, bro. I never thought like fantasy fight me versus Floyd. Nah.
Never. I never just was with a person and looked at him like, man, beat his ass. Never. That's some hate type shit to me.
Yeah, like clout.
I ain't never been that type of person ever.
Crawford is training harder than ever as he gets ready for his biggest challenge yet. Every session, from footwork to heavy bag work, shows just how locked in he is. The training clips say it all. He's not just grinding, he's being smart about it. His approach is focused and strategic, adjusting every detail to prepare for a tough and experienced opponent like Canelo. In camp, Crawford's leg training has become a key part of his conditioning. He leans on exercises like weighted squats and lunges to build the power behind his explosive movement. These workouts boost his stamina and agility, helping him move smoothly around the ring and stay balanced even under pressure. His intense focus on leg work shows just how seriously he takes every part of his prep.
Nice.
How's that cool? Good life.
All right, let him up.
Good life.
Teach him build. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
Crawford's sparring sessions really highlight his sharp boxing IQ. When working with partners who mimic Canelo's style, he uses his jab, not just to create space but to control the pace and set up strong power shots. His jab is always purposeful. On top of that, his skill to switch stances mid-fight shows he's bringing a complex, well-rounded strategy every time he steps into the ring.
Watch the right hand for the decoy.
Y'all know chess? Fisher versus Spassky? Two of the best, you understand? That's what you watch. Two of the best. Nice. That's how I start work. You know how to work. You know how to get the most out of everything. Good job, Chuck.
Promoter Eddie Hearn shared a story about an unexpected visit to a training gym that turned into a special moment. What began as a simple drop-in became a rare chance to see Floyd and Crawford together. Eddie said he'd met Floyd before, but this time the vibe felt different, filled with laughs, deep conversations, and surprising friendship. The experience also showed fans a side of Crawford they don't usually get to see, more relaxed and easygoing.
How is Crawford going to be able to bridge this weight gap?
Yeah, I don't think he can, in all honesty. I mean, he might not be able to bridge it on Saturday.
Yeah.
So,
one weight class.
68, yeah, but you're coming up from 35. 35, 40, 47, 54. Sooner or later, it's one too many. And 68 is definitely too many. But Crawford's brilliant. Like, he's a genius. He's a generational great. So maybe he can find a way to do it. But I feel he'd be hugely outsized against Canelo Alvarez.
Alvarez.
Yeah. But you have to use your movement. if you're Terence Crawford in that fight. The last thing you want to do is stand and trade. He'd be moving a lot in that fight, trust me. I'm not saying he'd be running, but he would be moving a lot. Of course, that's the way to beat him.
Yeah.
You know.
Crawford has faced his critics directly by fully accepting the challenge of fighting Canelo. Instead of avoiding talk about Canelo's size and power, he recognizes those factors but refuses to use them as excuses. He views this fight as a crucial step in his career and trusts in his own skills to come out on top. His attitude is clear. He's not just here to compete, he's here to win and prove the doubters wrong.
That's a fight because of the challenge.
Yeah.
I love the challenges. And I love the people that I hear them now. You too little. You know, Canelo gonna break you. He's gonna stop you. You come from 147, that weight too big, this and that. I can hear it now. And that just excites me to go in there and just be like, okay, let me prove him wrong once again.
That fight would be gigantic. If Canelo gets through Jamel and then you guys fight, that fight would be gigantic.
And it's crazy because, like, in the past interviews, I was like, man, Canelo too big, man. It's weight classes for a reason. I was like, nah. But in my mind, in my heart, I don't think nobody too big.
Mayweather recently shared some thoughtful advice about Crawford's upcoming fight with Canelo. Speaking from his own experience facing the Mexican star, Floyd emphasized the need for careful preparation. He didn't discourage the matchup, but stressed that winning would require a smart, strategic plan. Coming from an undefeated champion who knows the sport inside and out, his insight brought extra meaning to the conversation.
Terence Crawford jumping up from 154 to 168 and beating this quote-unquote version of Canelo Alvarez would diminish the accomplishment that Floyd Mayweather accomplished beating his version of Canelo Alvarez. Is it two different versions of Canelo Alvarez? And obviously, Canelo Alvarez is 62 wins, 2 losses, 2 draws, 39 big wins by way of knockout. He's a first ballot Hall of Famer. He is obviously bigger. When Floyd fought him, it was at 152 catch weight, but it had no rehydration clause. So you might as well just say it was at 154. Now, two things they have in common is that Floyd Mayweather was 36, 37 years of age. Terence Crawford is 36, 37 years of age, going on 38. So he'll be 38 when he fights Canelo Alvarez. Floyd had already had 2 fights at 154. He had the fight with Miguel Cotto, and he had the fight with Oscar De La Hoya.
Boxing analyst Teddy Atlas brought up an important tactical point. Can Crawford keep up enough movement and speed to stay ahead of Canelo? Since Canelo is known for cutting off the ring and landing powerful punches, Atlas suggested Crawford's footwork could be crucial. The debate focuses on whether Canelo can adjust to Crawford's style, or if Crawford can stay safe and build a strong lead on the scorecards.
So he had a few hiccups. He won the fight. He's Terence Crawford. A lot of people say, "Oh, Teddy, you make him so good. You're always saying how great Crawford is." You know, but who's he beating? He unified the what was his first division? Lightweight. Then he unified the junior. Then he unified the junior welter, then he unified the welter. I think I got the weight classes right. It doesn't matter. He unified like 3 different weight classes. He moved up in weight.
Crawford's coach, Bomac, responded strongly to Canelo's dismissive remarks about Crawford's record. He highlighted how Crawford has consistently dominated top fighters like Porter, Brook, and Gamboa. Bomac emphasized that Crawford never seeks easy victories. He always competes fairly. This attitude reflects a fighter who is committed to building a true legacy, not taking any shortcuts.
tired of me saying it. I look at him. Look, Canelo's special too. I get it. And he's bigger. I get that too. And everyone's going to say, well, after Madrimov fight again, had a couple hiccups. Now he's stepping up another weight class. Now he's got to fight Canelo, who's even bigger, stronger, better puncher. You know, a unified champion that he's been. You know, all of that stuff. He's not going to be able to handle it. I asked this question. See, I go to the other side. I say, okay, yeah, can Canelo handle the smaller guy who's going to be faster, who's going to be slicker, who's going to be better defensively, who's going to have better legs, you know, who's going to be able, sometimes Canelo at this point in his career can slow down a little bit. They're both getting older. I get it.
Trainer Steve Nelson spoke out about the idea of Crawford moving up to fight someone like David Benavidez. While it sounds like a bold move, Nelson called it unrealistic. He said that picking certain opponents might look brave, but really they're carefully planned risks. Crawford's team is focused on fights that balance building legacy with smart strategy, not just going for flashy matchups.
Unpack what just went on. Steve Nelson just said, and I'm paraphrasing because you guys heard it, link will be in the description. He just told you out his own mouth, he's like, fans are saying that Crawford should fight David Benavidez or a true 168-pounder. Doesn't make sense. Bud is after legacy, and then he said, and money. So this proves why I don't want to see this particular fight like some of y'all. He just told you. So this is what I call an advanced cherry pick. Now, I know some people, you're going to start crying. The reason I say advanced, now, it's not an advanced, it's not a cherry pick in the normal sense of like, you know, because this would be an accomplishment if Bud can defeat somebody at a higher weight class without acclimating, right? So it's not the traditional cherry pick, but it is still an advanced, or this is what I'm calling it, an advanced cherry pick, because his own teammate and friend, Steve Nelson, is telling you there's no reason for Bud to fight a true 168-pounder. He started off by saying Canelo Alvarez started off smaller, like a welterweight earlier in his career at 54, and then made his way up to 68. So that lets me know the mentality from Team Crawford is Canelo, we know he has shown signs of slippage and being a little bit older in his recent fights. Can't put away Munguia, and some other guy did, Surase.
Boxing, personality, showbiz. The adult pushed back against the idea that Crawford's only major win was over Errol Spence Jr. He pointed out other important victories like Sean Porter, arguing that it's Crawford's consistent performance over time, not just one fight, that proves his greatness. This view challenged critics who try to boil down Crawford's career to just a single night.
Spaceman Films. What up, Biz? Who you got? Canelo Crawford.
Yeah.
Got Canelo. I heard the punches that he hit Charlo with. I don't know if Crawford can absorb those punches. I know he's a great man and a great warrior. But you come from 147 to put on a better fight than Charlo. I mean, I don't even know what that means. I don't know if that means that Crawford is so great and he can do that, or that means that Charlo set the bar so damn low that anybody could do better than Charlo did last night.
Do skill really pay the bill? Because that would be tested.
It'll pay the bill. That's why Canelo's skillful.
Veteran boxer Nonito Donaire highlighted Crawford's outstanding footwork as a key advantage. He noted that movement might make all the difference against a pressure fighter like Canelo. With quick steps and smooth positioning, Crawford has what it takes to avoid tough exchanges and keep opponents off balance. Donaire's insight carries weight, coming from someone experienced in winning at the sport's highest level.
You know, Canelo's a stronger guy, the bigger guy, but in the fight with a guy that moves around, and if Crawford uses his skills and his legs and his technique and just his ability, I think he can win. He can win the fight in decision, as long as he doesn't get hit with those big shots from Canelo.
Canelo Alvarez's latest fight against William Skull raised eyebrows for all the wrong reasons. The match lacked energy with both fighters, combining for a surprisingly low punch count. Canelo's passivity left fans questioning his current sharpness. The performance didn't resemble the dominant force he once was, with age and wear setting in many wonder if he can still keep pace with a younger, hungrier opponent like Crawford.
After really the Triple G fight is when we've seen the slippage on Canelo. And over the last 2 years, it's been immediately apparent. It's been apparent straight away over the last 2 years. Canelo's feet have always been slow. He's always been very slow-footed. So when people are saying, oh, it looks like his legs are slowing down, yeah, they are. They've never been quick, but now they're even slower, which is a problem. And Jim Lampley on commentary on Friday night show was saying that one of Canelo's biggest strengths is his legs. It generates power and it helps with his punch resistance. Well, those legs are sliding and that power is diminishing. Canelo hasn't had a stoppage win now since he knocked out Caleb Plant in 2021. And yeah, he's dropped some of these guys, but he's not been able to step on the gas and finish them. He's not been able to go through the gears. His gas tank, you can put that into question as well. And Canelo Alvarez, come July, be 35 years old. So he is, look, Canelo's been around so long and his real prime was in his mid-20s. So we associate Canelo, mid-20s to early 30s. So we kind of associate Canelo with that. I don't want to say ever young, but you know, he is still young, just not in boxing senses. But he's been around so long, 20 years a pro, and he's been at world levels for probably 15 of those. You're going to expect some slippage. And I think in this fight, an opponent, it was very negative, yes.
That wraps up today's video. Stay tuned for what's coming next.